Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. It is currently the first day of summer, and we're even going to be seeing the longest day of the year today. Summer solstice begins around 3:30 p.m. Central Time. So if you guys, do have any plans today, hope you guys will enjoy the first day of summer, and also, of course, stay up late too, as well, as this is the day that the sun's going to be up the longest. So don't forget to do all that stuff, as it is the first day of summer. But in today's video, though, we're going to be taking a look at the past winters to figure out how this winter could play out, and we're just going to be taking a look at temperatures, because that's mainly what you use to really figure out what this winter could play out as. So we are going to be doing that, and then I will give you guys an update on Tropical Storm Alberto, as he is still doing some impact. So let's go ahead and first start off with the winter of 1954 to 1955, and as you can see, we saw pretty well below average temperatures across the western United States. So pretty much west of Nebraska is where we saw the coldest temperatures, but we also saw some slightly below average temperatures across the east, and as well as the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region really got on a lot of that cold air too as well. But some areas, especially these areas right here, were near normal. So we did kind of see at least a cool winter, because not all areas were below average, but none of the areas were well below average either. So I would probably consider this a cool winter. So we at least know so far that this winter has been much colder. And we're taking a look at La Nina winters, by the way, because we are expecting things or the water temperatures to change to La Nina as we do head into the late summer. So hopefully we do get that, because we're already talking about having this kind of winter. But if we look at the next winter, that is 1955 to 1956, and as you can see, this year we had much more cold air spread across the northern United States, but this time it also spread all the way down into the lower plains, also included the lower Ohio Valley, back into the entirety of the Ohio Valley, probably should have said that, but back into the Mid-Atlantic, New England area, and then even down into the southeast. Really got a lot of cold air from this winter. So it is pretty interesting to see for sure. And we at least know so far that these past winters have really been much colder than normal, because La Nina usually does bring colder than normal temperatures to this region of the United States, and sometimes it can even bring colder temperatures all the way down here. So La Nina is just pretty wild with how well below average temperatures can really be. So we at least know that this year may be below average, but we'll have to see how the other years are too as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at 1964 to 1965, and I know these aren't going exactly in order, and that's because not all winters have been a La Nina. So that's why it's kind of gonna be like one winter will be 1964, which is one we're taking a look at, to 1965, and then the next La Nina winter could be 2010. So like I said, not all winters really were all La Nina, and I'm just trying to tell you guys that just so you don't get confused on why it's not going exactly in order. But it's not necessarily what I said. We actually had a ton of La Nina winters in the 19th. But anyway, we did see a lot of cold air across the upper Midwest, back into the Ohio Valley, into the Northeast, but even over here in the western United States. So pretty much this area in the Four Corners region really got a lot of cold air. We did have an area that did see some above average temperatures, which is, pretty surprising during the winters. It's usually more common to see below average temperatures, but, the southeast really did, see somewhat above average temperatures, which is good news, especially, because people want to go to Florida during the winter to stay warm from all this cold air, which doesn't happen every year, but it can, though. But the next winter that we are going to be taking a look at is the 1973, which is the next La Nina winter in 10 years from 1965. And as you can see, we saw well above average temperatures across this entire region. Look how well above average this entire area really got. So, the Southern Plains, southeast, back into the Mid-Atlantic, lower Ohio Valley, and into the lower Mississippi Valley really saw a very warm winter during the 1973 to 1974 winter. The only area that really did get on that cold air is really this area right here that I'm circling. So pretty much areas, like the Four Corners region, Northwest, back into the upper Midwest really saw, most of that below average temperatures. So, that is certainly pretty interesting to see right there. And then let's go ahead and look at the next winter now. It looks like we're just, on another La Nina winter right next to that one. And that's not surprising because sometimes La Nina lasts for even more than 2 winters. So, we do have another, La Nina winter, and as you can see, with La Nina continuing from the let's see, what was that winter? I just gotta go back. From the 1973 winter. So as you can see, La Nina pretty much continued for 3 years almost, pretty much. But if we look at this one now from the 1974 to 1975, we saw slightly below average, or slightly above rather, across the southeast, and then we saw pretty well below average temperatures across this entire area of the United States. So looking, colder out west and near normal to slightly above out here in the east. So certainly wasn't as cold, but still. But if we now look at the 1975 to 1976, this winter was a blast for how warm it really got. Look at this entire area really getting on the above average temperatures, guys. That is a really huge area of above average temperatures. The area that usually sees above average temperatures during winters is the southeast, but they also, usually stay dry too as well. So it's just, very wild that sometimes we see this warm air surge as far north as the Great Lakes region, and, even the Midwest, and of course the Mid-Atlantic too as well. So just a lot of areas really getting on that much warmer air. So it was certainly, a pretty warm winter. I don't know if it was the warmest year on record, but it was for sure a very warm winter. But the next winter that we're going to take a look at is 1988 to 1989, and as you guys can see, this winter has been, quite warm in the same area. Not all of the same areas, but some of them, especially the southeast, and then up here across the upper Midwest, the mountains region, and then all the way back through New England, really got on, that cold air, as it could only go as far down south as, let's say, Nevada, but could also only go as far down south as, Iowa. So certainly wasn't as warm up to the north, but was much warmer down here to the south. That's actually pretty common with the La Nina, with temperatures being above normal across the southeast and temperatures being below normal across, the northern United States. And like I said, that is pretty common with the La Nina. But if we go ahead and now take a look at this winter now, we're going to be taking a look at this winter now. That is pretty much 1995 to 1996. And as you can see, this winter was pretty rare because we don't usually see that well above normal temperatures out here to the west. Usually they would be seen more in the way of cold temperatures, but look how cold it really got. This is, this was a very wild winter back in the late 19s. So this was back in the late 19s, so this was pretty much from 1995 to 1996. Like I said, this winter was very wild with much colder out here to the east and much above average, air out here to the west. So that is definitely, a pretty uncommon winter right there, as we should have saw, above average temperatures just across the north, and then like I said, we usually see above normal across the south and southeast. Now, here comes the very wild winters, okay? This is where we saw well above normal temperatures. Look at that. The entirety of the United States, besides California, got on above average temperatures. That is actually not surprising because of global warming. We saw a big increase of greenhouse gases. Like, we literally went from here all the way up like this on the greenhouse gases, if why not even like this. Like, we went in really, really high with the greenhouse gases. So it was certainly, very interesting that we really, did see an increase of greenhouse gases, which really made these winters much warmer than normal, which, isn't very common with La Nina. We would usually see, almost all the United States see cooler than normal temperatures, but that's okay though. But if we now go ahead and take a look at the 2006 winter, as you can see, this winter was also much warmer than normal. Across this area right here, as you can see. So, pretty wild warmth across that area too as well. So yeah, we certainly did see quite a bit in the way of warmer temperatures right there, as you can see. And then if we look at the 2007 to 2008 winter, this one was a little bit more common, as we saw, cooler than normal air across the northern United States, and we, saw above average temperatures across the southeast heading towards the plains. So, that, like I said, this is, a little bit more common with the La Nina, so we definitely, did see, a more common winter, like I said. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the 2008 to 2009 winter, as you can see, this winter was much different, as we saw above average temperatures across the Rocky Mountains. This is a little bit less uncommon, and then we saw below average temperatures across this area. And the reason why this winter was pretty uncommon is because Florida also saw some below average temperatures too as well. So it's just very wild that some of these winters has been above average for the Rocky Mountains, which, like I said, isn't very common. We would usually see more of this warm air across pretty much this region right here, with, that cold air pretty much, surging north of, this line where we usually expect it. So yeah, pretty, wild winters right there. And now if we take a look at the 2006 to 2017 winter, look how warm this one was. Look at that. We saw well above average temperatures across this entire region, like especially this area right here. This is, a really, really warm winter, guys. So a pretty, warm winter, especially after that, increase of greenhouse gases that we saw right there, Like I said, we saw like a very big increase of greenhouse gases, which is literally causing, much warmer than normal temperatures these last couple of winters, which is just crazy to see. But yeah, it was a pretty wild winter with how much above normal we saw. Now, let's take a look at the 2017 to 2018 winter. And as you can see, this one saw pretty well above average temperatures out here to the west, as some darker orange and reds are showing up, indicating more above average, especially for Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming during that winter. But even up here towards, the portions here of the northern United States also really got on, a lot of that cold air too as well. So also very interesting that we saw a lot of cold air up here to the north. And last but not least, let's just go ahead and look at a few more of these. I think this is mainly just trying to show, all of the winters with an El Nino, but these were pretty much the La Nina ones. But yeah, so like I said, that was definitely, very interesting right there, as we did take a look at all of those past La Nina winters. Some of them were common, as we saw a lot of cold air, surging in, and some of them weren't common at all, as we saw, much warmer than normal temperatures across, either the Rockies or the entirety of the United States. So like I said, that is pretty interesting to see, as we also kind of were dealing with global warming too as well. But we will continue to keep you guys updated on this winter as we do head closer, and that's where it is going to get more certain on how this winter will be. We will also, maybe do a couple winter forecasts, and if I do that, all of them will obviously be different. Like I said, the closer we are, the more certain it is. So, we will continue to, do that possibly as we do head into, the fall time. But we will also, keep you guys updated with the regular weather. Now, I am going to keep you guys updated with also Tropical Storm Alberto. And as you can see, Tropical Storm Alberto is, already on the edge of the Mexico border and already moving down to a tropical depression, as you can see. So Texas is looking fine now. But like I said, guys, we will keep you guys updated on all those things as we continue to get closer, and we will certainly do more weather updates, and of course like and subscribe especially, but also comment.